Hey, JulesBlessedVegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. Welcome to my product-free, crazy curly vegan hair. To be fair, I do put a little bit of my conditioner in water in a spray bottle. And so as my hair is frizzing or going crazy, I shake it up and spray it. So is that considered a product? I mean, it's $2 Suave conditioner. And that's what I do to kind of, Anyway, what I want to talk about was how people talk about veganism as a cult. And yes, I have my Invisalign in case I'm talking a little weird. But, it most certainly is not a cult by definition. It doesn't have one primary being that people attempt to follow. It isn't religious based. I mean, it really is an ideology of wanting to be acutely aware of the needs of sentient beings and not consuming them. So when people say they're on a vegan diet, even that isn't correct. It's a plant-based diet because, again, vegan is an ideology that has to just do with animals and not consuming them. That said, I was reading this interesting article about veganism as a cult and why people get off of veganism. And this one girl wrote an entire humongous story of being a devout vegan and getting all caught up in the process and being a leafletter, I think she called it, where you pass out the information to people. And, she was in like Vegan International and I don't even know, like all the things. And it brought up her disordered eating tendencies. And before she knew it, she was anorexic. And then after her anorexia, she was trying to put on weight and this and that. And in the end, she ultimately went back to vegetarianism. She added eggs and milk, but she promised that the eggs and milk were from like local farms and, it wasn't industrial farming and no one was being tortured per se. And she did recognize that the cows are impregnated against their will, that their little boys are used for veal. I mean, she recognized all of that, but it helped with her putting on some weight and seemingly getting her health back. I kind of bring this up because a friend of mine was telling me about their friend who suddenly decided that not only were they going to re-implement a carnivore diet, but they were actually like going to a retreat, if you will, to learn the best ways to reincorporate meat and things. Anyway, based on that, I really appreciated this person's response. And it said, what are the downsides of having a vegan lifestyle? This is from a guy named Drew Waymeyer. And he said, for me, the biggest downside is that once you have the frame shift to seafood animals, wow, really? Oh, once you have the frame shift to see food animals as being just like any other animal, you constantly see correlations to veganism that you missed before. And here are some real life examples from the past few months of this person's existence as a vegan. So what they mean is, as soon as you see all animals as loving and potentially pets, that a dog is not different than a pig just because we so willingly eat a pig, as opposed to a dog in our society. Other societies will readily eat a dog. We see a horse as a pet. Other societies will readily eat a horse. But he was just saying, they're like, well, you don't have to not care about a cow and don't be concerned about a chicken because those are all edible. But I understand why you love your dog. I understand why you love your cat. So anyway, he's saying once you have that frame shift to see food animals, that category, as being just like any other animal, the loving ones that you have in your bed at night, you constantly see the correlations to veganism that you missed before. All right, so here's a couple of cases which I thought were so interesting. Number one, and I think you guys, if you're vegan and all, you can relate, and if you're not vegan, it's definitely something worth considering. Imagine that you have come to believe that a pig's life is just as valuable as a dog's life. Both are intelligent social animals, and you now live in such a way that you would never consider cutting the throat of a dog or a pig and eating its legs. But your friend invites you to a fundraiser for the local animal shelter. It's a dinner and a show with the proceeds going to the shelter. Yay God. They're charging $25 a ticket and serving, that's right, a main course of chopped up pigs, salad with bits of diced pig, and dessert filled with milk from cows who are slaughtered for being after being annually forcibly impregnated and having their male calves sold for veal. Once you realize the absurdity of it, the work you have to do to get a special vegan plate at this event seems insane. And instead of being the normal person, the one not chopping up pigs in order to find homes for unwanted dogs, you're considered the extreme one, the difficult one. The poor caterer had to go out of her way and make a special plate just for you. Your friends think you're amusing or silly or difficult. Normally, being the difficult one is just the price you pay for being vegan. But in this scenario, it makes you want to slap everyone, since their actions literally make no sense. Case 2. Much less serious, but your friend, not vegan, and is telling you a story about how wonderful it was that her daughter, also not vegan, after hitting a bird with her car, drove 20 miles to a wild sanctuary and had the staff there care for and revive the bird. Beautiful, right? She says this while holding a fried chicken leg. And you honestly want to tell her how wonderful it is that she saved this bird, because you're not a jerk, you're not an absolutist, and people don't have to be perfect for you to compliment them on things they do right. But it's just so hard to express honest enthusiasm for her efforts to save a dying bird at great cost, while she dines on the leg of a bird killed for no reason other than her pleasure. Right? Number 3, a Facebook friend posts a photo of their delicious family dinner, including a roasted ham. On the next post, they say how terrible hunting is, and that's disgusting to hand a deer head on the wall, to have a deer head on the wall. You want to shake your friend and ask, how can you possibly, what? Huh? Number 4, a fellow veterinarian opines about the cruelty and unacceptability of declawing, where they take the claws, usually a cat, so that they don't mess up the furniture. You two strongly agree on the topic, but then she drinks milk 3 meals a day from farms that dehorn their cattle without any anesthesia. This one isn't as hard, since I feel so strongly about declawing, but being aware of the dehorning makes it so hard not to bring it up while she's drinking a glass of milk. Can't really agree on this awful too. This goes on and on. It's not that you want to be a jerk. It's not that you intentionally try to find ways to insert veganism into everything. It's just that these absurd things are all around you, and once you start to see how little sense they make, it can eat at you and drive you crazy. Can you relate, my friends? I mean, yeah, that's just the way it is. Like, after just absorbing hundreds and hundreds of hours of content regarding what is wrong with our current society in reference to animal consumption, extorting animals, tons of waste of animal products, death and disease due to animals, like the whole thing, when people ask me a question, it's very difficult for me to just simply answer, because all this data comes rolling in, and a lot of people don't want to hear it, but it doesn't make it less true. So anyway, I just found that as very interesting. No, I don't believe vegans are a cult. Yes, I do believe there's extremists, as there are in any group. Yes, I understand that veganism is a movement or an ideology. It is not a religion. It's not even a diet. The diet is called plant-based vegan, right? Anyway, I just wanted to bring up some of these issues. It's so interesting. I appreciated that girl's story too, the one who was anorexic and everything, and she's now in recovery. I don't agree that she's recovering because of choosing to eat eggs and milk and stuff like that again. I just don't. Yes, her microbiome may have recognized those foods and started celebrating, no doubt, but I just don't believe that it's the better way by any means. I do not believe it's the better way. So I just have to stay the course for me, and I'm trying to find balance. I indicated that I was a plant-based vegan, not a raw vegan. I do like to try and be raw. By all accounts, I'm almost completely raw at any given time, but I do have cooked components every once in a while, and that's totally okay. I'm still trying to figure it out. For me, I'm still terrifically overweight. I've got to lose weight. It is absolutely proven that having more protein in your diet, and I try and follow the 80-10-10, but a lot of people go as high as 20 or 25, especially if they're at childbearing age, and they still have their period. That is not my story. But a little more protein can help. I'm going to do a talk on this, on how protein can help with weight loss. And I'm just talking plant-based protein. I'm talking about at best incorporating legumes or something, right? So that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about adding any animal products of any kind, and no artificial. I like the whole food. I absolutely love plant-based. But anyway, I'll get back to you. I'm a work in progress, my friends. Like if you like, join us if you haven't. Subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you, even with your vegan hair. Suave, my friends, $1.99. Is it looking a little dry? I think it looks fine. I like the curls a lot. All right, until we talk again, best of all, know that you're blessed.